What is up? Welcome back to another edition of Uncle Rico's Storytime. This week brought to you by VA Ineptitude. We will fuck up even the smallest thing. So January of last year, I developed a small little bump on my hand, and it grew into this big swollen thing. It was dropping, kind of spasming, and it was dropping my plate and stuff. Couldn't use a lighter. So I went in after about a month. I went into the VA. They took an X-ray and never got a response. I was hitting them up like every week. Hey, what's up with that hand? X-ray. My message thread, emailing them. Subject line: right hand pain. Okay, just checking in with that X-ray. Da 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 da. I finally sent them. They don't answer until you send them something really snarky, and I forget what it was with the hand. I go, yeah, so I'm just gonna get drunk tonight and cut this thing open. I've got a couple of buddies here in case anything comes out of there, you know. And I finally get a response that morning. She goes, the X-ray's negative. So I go, okay, what's the next step then? So they do an MRI, but I have a thing about going inside it, so I have to be outsourced for it. So that took forever for me to get in and get the MRI. So once they got the MRI back, I saw a specialist, and he comes out and he goes, sorry, dude. I know this isn't what you want to hear right now, but this is just really bad arthritis. There's I forget what he said, bone spur. He goes, there's bone spurs in there. He goes, honestly, your hand looks like it's a 70-year-old man. And so I go into rehab, and everybody's telling me that it sounds like I have a ganglion cyst, and I'm probably bursting it. It's because the bump is right in the middle of my palm. Rehab isn't doing anything. So I go back in, I send a message, I go, hey, this rehab, I've gone to 14, sessions. Nothing's helping. Everybody seems to think that this is a ganglion cyst. So they say, all right, we got you back into the hand specialist. So I'm like, great. Normally in the VA system, if they tell you something and then you go back in for the same thing, it's usually the same doctor, and he comes out and he's pretty pissed off that he's got to deal with you again. But this time it wasn't. It was a lady. And she looks at everything. She goes, I tell her what's happening. I tell her how to, I'm like, if it can't be arthritis because it just showed up like as a little tiny bump that grew. I would think arthritis would be gradual, but so she sends me in for another MRI with contrast, which apparently they put some shit into your body, which I didn't know that. I don't care, but it's like a dye. I thought it was when she said right hand contrast. I thought it was just going to be right hand versus left hand, but apparently they put some shit into you. But so then we go back in, and she says, before that, I'm hitting them up on the message, on the email service, and this one person is like, we don't even know what hand you're talking about. And I'm like, the subject line is right hand pain. So now, second specialist, today, I go in and she says, she's looking at the stuff, da 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 da. She goes, when was this? And I go, January of last year. So like 18 months. And she goes, you know how you can tell when doctors are wrong, or kind of know, or they fucked up? There's a different tone. She's being super friendly, super nice. And she goes, I'm gonna have my boss come in and take a look at this. So he comes in, looks at my hand real quick. He goes, yeah, it's extreme arthritis. And I go, well, it didn't, it wasn't gradual. It showed up as a little tiny bump and then grew. And he goes, yeah, it's a gangline cyst. And I go, well, that's, what I was thinking. And so he goes, does he have an X-ray? And I go, yeah, I got an X-ray right away. So he's pull up the X-ray. So they pull up the X-ray, and I'm kind of looking at it sideways, and I can see right away that like there's a white thing, there's a white mass where the pain in my hand is, and I'm looking at it sideways, So they're kind of talking and stuff, and da 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 da. He's like, so her boss is like, yeah, we're gonna have to bring in Dr. Mio in, blah blah blah, da 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 da. He's like, bone removals, but there's blah blah blah, bone removal, and I'm sorry, you keep talking about. He goes before that. He goes, I'm, he's talking with her. He's like bone removal, and he goes, turns to me, and he goes, when was this? And I go, like January of last year, so like 18 months. And he goes, I'm surprised you're not in more pain. And I go, no, I mean, it hurts, like I'm just used to it now. And so I go, what is this? You're talking about bone removal. And he goes, oh, she'll, cover all of that. So he leaves. So she comes in. He's like, I go, what is this bone removal? There's not that many bones in your hand, And she goes, oh, it's RT, LMI surgery. It's a ligament, thing, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, what, I mean, can you explain to me? She's like, well, I'll give you a couple of links that you can check out online. And I go, no, just can you dumb it down and just tell me, what you're talking about here? And she goes, well, basically, it's a major surgery for a small minor thing. And I'm like, that's what it sounds like, but I can't, you're not. And I go, she pulls up all these links, and she's like, oh, what's a good one? And she pulls it up, and it's a light respiratory thing. I go back out of there. Let me take a screenshot of this. Let me get the hell out of here. I'm thinking I just need to smoke some pot. So I take a screenshot. I leave, set up an appointment for this other specialist, this Dr. Mio. And I get home online. I start checking out all this stuff. And they have to remove the piece of the bone and like shave it down and put cartilage back in there. When I was trying to ask the doctor like what it is, she brings up the X-ray and she goes, well, come on over here. Sees, if you see right here, all your bones have space in between them. This place right here doesn't. And I'm looking at this X-ray, and the white part that I noticed right away is where it almost looks like the bones are overlapping. And they can't obviously be overlapping, but the way that they're shaped, like, is this, and the white part is right here. And she's like, it was the guy doctor. He goes, this isn't good. And he goes, your hand right here, this is like a 70 or 80-year-old. This is what usually happens in their hands with extreme arthritis. And I'm like, so, I mean, it wouldn't have helped to do it. Oh, thank you, Booger Sugar King 69. It wouldn't have helped, but it's amazing to have that many people look at an X-ray of my right hand with the subject heading right hand pain, and for me to look at that X-ray and immediately see that problem is pretty fucking amazing. Not even mad. I'm impressed. So apparently, after in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna talk to this guy and find out, you know, if I have to have a piece of my hand taken out and shaved down and then inserted back in. Right when I'm playing good hockey too. Cheeky cheekies. Don't chew on your paw, dude. It was an awesome day at work. I had a couple of days ago, I had a... Oh yeah, you gotta stop chewing on that, Bubba. Let's see, 5 days ago, actually Tuesday, it all happened on Tuesday. So Tuesday, I'm picking up garbage around my property, and I've got all this fence, like huge fence, and I hear a, hello, 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 hello. Finally, I'm like, can you hear me? Hello? Finally, I go, hello? And he goes, yes, hello, I'm on the other side of the fence. And I go, yeah? And he goes, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm from Peoria. I don't know anybody out here. My truck broke down. He's like, I'm parked on the other side here. Is this an easement? Do you know? I go, no, it's my property. And he goes, oh, is it okay if my truck is just parked here while I'm getting it fixed? And I go, yeah, as long as it's not, you know, like longer than a day or two. Yeah, that's fine. And he goes, oh, okay, great. Do you have a rake? I'd like to clean up out here. And I go, no, don't worry about it. Fucking weird, right? Comes into play later. It should have been my first warning sign. So I go out there, I drive out there, maybe 4 or 5 hours later, I drive on that side of the property, and he's got like all of the doors open, he's pulled all of his stuff out, and I pull up and I go, no, dude, you can't be like it can't look like you're camping out here, because other people will pull up quicker than shit. You know, and he goes, yeah, so sorry, yeah, sorry about that. I go, do you know what's wrong with it? Yeah, drivetrain. I'm like, oh my god. Oh god. So he's got, I'm like, all right, whatever, just take off. So I come back a couple hours later, and there is now a tarp up over his truck tied to the tree. He's got 2 bike people there. They've got a cooler out there. They're all swigging beer. So I walk over there. I go, no, absolutely not. You guys got to clear out. He goes, oh yeah, I'm not from here. I was just trying to make friends. And I go, no, absolutely not. You cannot be camped out here. This turned from your truck is broken down to you're camping out here now. You know, I was trying to be nice. Now I got to be an asshole. If you're here tomorrow, like, it's going to be trespassing. And he's like, no, no, no. I go, look, I don't want to hear it. Just all these people got to go. So I wake up in the morning. The next day, dude's still there. So I pull over, go and talk to him. He goes, I know. He goes, the sheriff was already here. He told me. I was like, that's amazing for out here. But that does make sense. They probably spend a lot of time cruising around on the street trying to wrangle out, you know, people. So, but he finally left today. Left a big old pile of garbage. At one point wasn't even trying to cover up the garbage, just they threw all sorts of stuff over there. So popsicle sticks, deli chicken containers that weren't even closed. Get to the middle of the pile, and there's a big 5-gallon bucket of oil underneath there. So I come back in, got to do a quick lock cut. And I don't know if I told this story or not, because it was about 2 months ago. But I was doing lock cuts. I have my safety glasses up around my head, got my work gloves on, I'm carrying my grinder and a clipboard. I walk up to this big old dually truck, all fucking shiny and new, and I walk up and the window it's Arizona and it's hot, and the window is already down. But I go, hey man. He goes, hey. Or I go, hey man. I go, are you a customer or something like that? I forget how I said it, but I said right away. I said I was the caretaker, and the dude just kept giving me attitude. And I walk up. I go, hey, I'm the caretaker here. Is this or no? I walk up and I go, hey, are you in this unit? And he goes, why? And I go, I'm the caretaker. I'm just wondering if you're in one of these units or not. And he goes, or first he said, who's asking? And I said, I'm the caretaker here. I said, who's in the... Either way, he kept arguing with me. And finally, I go, dude, I've got to cut this fucking lock off the unit. I'm trying to establish whether or not you are the customer who should not be here because you're overlocked, in which case I'm calling the cops and you're getting trespassing. Or what I'm thinking is more likely is that you parked behind your unit and you're taking care of something, but either way, I'm about to spark the shit out of your truck. And he goes, oh, sorry, I didn't know. And I go, well, I mean, I wasn't a dick at first. He goes, you didn't have to be a dick about it. I go, I wasn't a dick at first until you were a dick. And he goes, well, I'm sorry. And he rolls the window up and he takes off. So today, I'm doing a quick lock cut, and I walk around the corner, and I forget, like, I didn't look at him. He gave me like a short guy vibe, little dude vibe, maybe Hispanic, like a light beard kind of. But today I'm doing a quick lock cut, and I'm looking down the aisle, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, is this the same fucking guy? It's just, So I walk up in front of him, like oncoming, so he can see me this time. And again, safety goggles, work gloves, grinder, clipboard. And the dude has the window down again, a little bit. Again, and it's hot as fuck out there. So I walk up and I'm in the front and I kind of lean over and I go, are you the guy again? And he goes, what? With the attitude again. And I go, oh fuck. I go, are you good? I go, are you the guy that from before that we already did this? And he goes, who's asking? I go, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm the fucking caretaker. And he goes, right. And rolls the window up and fucking takes off. I don't know, Chico. It would just be easier to pull him out of the truck and beat the fuck out of him. And then, what was the other awesome thing about today? You're so fucking cute. Awesome dating update. So, I have a Facebook friend who I haven't met, just local. And we ended up friends through a Facebook dating singles area, right? She seems... I don't know. She seems like she's from the street. Like all of her shit is like no punctuation and stuff. But we're chatting, and we exchange phone numbers. And we're texting each other, and then I think I go like a month without, and we were gonna set up a date to the point where we were figuring out a date. And then I think I go a month without messaging, and I hit her up and I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry, I did not save your number. I was going to reach out and see how you're doing, but I couldn't find it, and I've been super busy dealing with a bunch of really yucky stuff. But that's over with. How are you? Then she hits me up and she's like, oh, what's up? I'm fine. How are you? I go, not bad. How was your weekend? She goes, could have been better. And I go, oh no, what happened? And she goes, oh, had a bad date. And I go, oh, that sucks. Yeah, I was supposed to go out on a date a couple of weeks ago, and she stopped responding to me day of. So, I go, what happened? And she goes, well, it was my ex, and we were watching a movie, and every time a hot scene would come on, he would slap the side of my leg or my hand and like kind of nudge me. And then when I would do it to him during a sexy scene, he would act like he was annoyed. And then it turned into an argument, and so I just left. And I was like, oh, okay. And by this time, there's so many red flags, that I'm like, okay, not, but I'm intrigued now, So I'm like asking her, I want to know what the movie is. And she tells me Fight Club. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember there being any sex scenes in there. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Marla Singer. And I go, it's like, Jesus Christ. I remember her being really raunchy. I never found that actress attractive, but I remember it being all really raunchy. So I say, oh, I don't remember there even being sex scenes in there. And she says, why are you messaging me? And I said, oh, no, not yet. I said, oh, I don't remember there being sex scenes in there. And she says, she doesn't respond for a while. Or no, she responds, she highlights it and with a laughing thing, and then she says, it seems like you're just rubbing salt in the wound. And what I found with some people that aren't that educated, sometimes they use phrases incorrectly, but at this point it's obviously something is changed, and I've upset her, and I kind of want to figure out what it is. Or no, something happened, and then I first said, I don't remember there being sex scenes in there, and then I was like, oh, I think it was pretty raunchy. I actually said what I think. That's usually what gets me in trouble. And she goes, at this point, it feels like you're just rubbing salt in the wound. And so at this point, I'm like, Jesus Christ, so many red flags. And then after about a day, I'm like, God damn it, is she into this weird S&M thing, or am I misreading it? Or maybe she was just in a really bad mood. Either way, I go, hey, sorry about that. Before that, she says, why are you messaging me? And I go, we were texting. I lost your number, and so I was just hitting you up to see how you're doing. Sorry, and didn't get a response from that then. So the next day, I was gonna give her a parting shot, before I unfriended her, and I said, hey, sorry to upset you. That wasn't my intention. I just thought you were cute. We lived nearby each other. I thought we could go out sometime, but obviously it's not meant to be. No big deal. Take care. Good luck. And then she said something else, and I just gave her a piece, and unfriended her and everything, got out of there. But Fight Club, I feel like I gotta watch it again now. Because are there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm done. But I'm headed off for a PT session, and then I'm gonna get pretty drunk because it's been a weird month. And then after that, tomorrow, I'm gonna start getting up at 6 a.m. to work out because I weighed myself, and with my shoes on, I was 219 pounds, and that is the heaviest I think I've ever been. I don't think I've ever broke 220. So we're gonna get back into shape. Chico's gonna cheer me on. Peace out, motherfuckers.